you know, as she kind of sang.
The first night actually was a triumph, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you got amazing reviews.
Yeah.
I mean, what is that like? It must be so nerve-wracking to wait for the reaction.
It was, especially under the circumstances, you know.
How did you actually feel on stage?
I think adrenaline would have got me through. I just so wanted to show everybody that, you know, I could sing and I could act and I was, you know, worthy to be on the national stage.
Lovely, lovely.
It was just the best feeling in the world when I took that bow, and that's what I find addictive, is taking that applause night after night. I love it.
And it all bubbled up into this night when you were rushed to hospital.
Yeah, and then finally...
Where were you when that happened?
I was at home in my house and I couldn't have the lights on. All the back of my skull and my neck felt like it had been punched a million times.
She had blood clots all over her legs. She couldn't move her neck. We thought that the clots would go to her heart. We thought she could die. It was like a very, very severe strain of a viral infection that was very like meningitis, you know. It was touch and go.
And they rushed me to hospital into intensive care, and all the family around the table, and they thought that, you know, I wasn't going to be around the next day. It wasn't
Really?
just it wasn't just a sore throat.
It's nonsense to say that she didn't want to do that part. It was nonsense to say that she didn't try. She's worked her whole life for it, her whole life for that part, and she wasn't going to throw it away.
During the show's first 4 months, Martine missed over 40% of her performances, a disastrous record for any actress. Another stage of her career appeared to be heading for ruin.
It's a ludicrous statistic. There's no defence of it. If she'd been ill early on, they should have identified it and changed immediately.
So how did you feel when you weren't giving a performance at all?
Awful. I'd sit at home, and if I went to get a pint of milk or something, they'd say, she's not ill, really. She's Eliza Doolittle.
In the press, they said she was out partying. You know, there was 1 or 2 nights when, you know, I said to her, or a mum or whatever, said, come on, darling, let's go out and have some dinner. You've been stuck in these 4 walls for a week now. You've not been outside the front door because you're too frightened to go out because of the press. The minute she went out of her door, we'd go to a restaurant to eat some food, she's out partying. She wasn't out partying, she wasn't drinking champagne. It's nonsense, absolute nonsense.
At the time, she felt the pressure, and her obligation to go back to work was phenomenal. She wanted to go back to work.
I put so much pressure on myself to make magic night after night. And what they've never said was that most days, even when I was really sick, I would go in and I would sing for them, and it was their choice to say, no, you can't sing today. You won't be able to do it, go home.
When did you finally make the decision to just walk away, to quit?
When I started to realise that my attempts to go back were doing me more harm than good, and that everything was just being taken out of my control, you know, it affected everything in my life. You know, my relationship at the time broke up. You know, my health was out of my control. My confidence was at an all-time low, and I just thought, you know, this has got to stop.
The one thing I'd say that Martine McCutcheon is not, from our interview, is a quitter.
No.
And yet you quit.
Yeah,
It doesn't seem like you to do that.
exactly. So I wouldn't do it without good reason.
Do you regret walking out, or do you wish?
No, I wish I'd have done it
sooner.
sooner. I think that the notoriety of the whole thing helped sell tickets, helped keep the show in the press, and
And it won you a big award.
Best Actress in a Musical or Entertainment. Martine McCutcheon.
I was at the award ceremony where Martine won the Olivier. I had my eye on Jonathan Pryce. He kind of turned green, and I think he left the room.
He looked like he'd sucked 100 lemons. I mean, how genius. It was just one genius TV moment.
Even if he didn't feel it, you never take away someone's moment. You never rain on their parade.
Everybody knows that I didn't play the role as long as I wanted to, or anybody else wanted me to, for that matter. But when I did play that part, it meant the world to me, and it changed my life.
Would you do another musical if you were asked?
yeah, because they're not all like that role. You know, I'm like, oh, the next minute, like, you know, it's just completely across the board, and you know, I'd love to.
I think I saw the production 3 or 4 times altogether, loved it every time. But Martine's performance was a nagging memory all the way through. There was something very special about it. And maybe it was like the thing that perished immediately as it happened. Maybe it was that special.
The constant glare of the limelight after My Fair Lady shattered Martine.